Hello, you dirty little boys.
Here's a hot take. Sydney Sweeney selling soap that contains her bathwater is a form of spicy work.
Sydney Sweeney's new soap, infused with her bathwater, has women accusing her of setting back feminism by 100 years.
Unboxing for the Sydney Sweeney bathwater bliss soap, and this is what it looks like.
Oh my God! Are you interested in my body? Well, you can't have it.
No! Why? Why can't I have your body, Sydney? Why? Give me your bathwater now! Sell your bathwater to me now!
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Amani. Today, I want to ask you guys, what the fuck are we doing? I know I say this in every single video, but really, what are we doing? We're selling celebrity bathwater again? I thought we were over this.
You're the coffee that I need in the morning.
Anyways, do you guys see anything different about me? Like I chopped something off? No, I didn't get circumcised, guys. Come on. I chose to chop off my hair on a whim because I have this condition called scalp psoriasis. When you have long hair and you have scalp psoriasis, it's very hard to manage. And I know you guys like my hair, and I'm sorry I chopped it off because I fucking hate you guys. Hair grows back, guys. Don't worry. So it's gonna come back soon. And anyways, yes, you heard that right. We as a society looked at Belle Delphine's Gamer Girl bathwater and thought, you know what this needs? HBO funding and a blonde girl with good looking boobs. Or as I like to call it, parasocial cleanser for the jobless. I don't know if you've been on TikTok these last few days, or if you've been on the internet in general, or if you know this figure that we call Sydney Sweeney. You guys probably know her from Euphoria. She plays Cassie. You guys probably know her from Anyone But You. Madam Web. Jeez, I'm such an asshole today. Yeah, so she's selling her bathwater. She's kind of known for being like one of those hot Hollywood figures. We used to have Megan Fox, we still do. She's fucking hot, right? But now the newest generation of hot celebrities is Sydney Sweeney. And when you're a woman, and when you're hot, and when you have a figure of an hourglass, you tend to be sexualized, and that's something that she has been dealing with for a long time, and she has called it out lots of times before. What do you do when you encounter a group of men that calls you mid, that rates you a certain number, that objectifies your body? You make bathwater and you sell it.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men.
This is really weird. I thought this was a joke until I looked on Google, and it's actually true.
And I know what you're thinking. Oh, good for her. Some people might think that this is actually degrading and weird, but some people might argue that, hey, this is her choice. She made the choice to do this, and I think it's a good thing that she is capitalizing of the men that spent years bullying her and objectifying her. But you know, I'll get into that later. Let's talk about the bathwater soap for a second. So I digged into the soap. No, I didn't fucking buy one, because guess what? They made 5,000 of these Sydney Sweeney soap bars that allegedly contains her bathwater. Right, allegedly, because people don't want to believe that there's actually bathwater. They made 5,000 of these, and they sold out immediately, almost instantly. And it's so bad that the website crashed.
Oh my God! Sydney Sweeney is selling 5,000 bars of soap that contain her own bathwater. I think this is just a test for Dr. Squatch's servers. If Dr. Squatch's website did not crash, I think this thing passed the test. If you are somebody who is buying bath water infused soap, are you really taking that many baths to begin with?
So, target demographic, definitely liked it. So Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap, she has a legal name, okay? Sydney's Bathwater Bliss was released by this men's soap brand called Dr. Squatch. Is that how you say it? Dr. Squatch? It's a dumb fucking name. According to their official website, it provides natural handmade soap to men who wants to feel like a man and smell like a champion. This is the company that released the bathwater soap, so I'm not gonna act too surprised. Like I said, this is alleged because lots of people don't really believe that this is her actual bathwater is in it. Apparently, Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap contains a little bit amount of her actual bathwater. So they actually sold it on their website for $8 per soap bar. It was released earlier this month. So if you want to buy the Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap, you can only buy it once. Okay, so one person can only buy one bathwater soap from Sydney Sweeney, and it's only available on the Dr. Squatch online store. So because there's only 5,000 of it and they're not planning on remaking these fuck ass soaps, a lot of people that are selling it on eBay or like Amazon for like what, over $1,000. Okay, they're selling Sydney Sweeney soap for over $1,000. Insane. So let me get into the controversy of the soap. Other than the thing being degrading and weird, there are some people saying that the soap has a hole in the middle. I'm not sure where you're supposed to put it. Am I supposed to put it in my head? Am I supposed to put it in my arm? Seems too small. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to put it on my pee. This, okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, is not real. It's AI generated.
Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap does not have a hole in it. Like, I need you to be so for real. I need you to have a little bit of discernment about what you see on the internet. I feel like the adage growing up was don't believe everything you see on the internet. And now people wake up, they ask ChatGPT how to wash their butt the first thing in the morning, and then they believe the first AI generated photo that comes across their phone screen.
Actually, I enjoyed the creativity of this bar of soap rather than the normal one. So when people found out that Sydney Sweeney released this bathwater soap, a lot of people are like, this is setting back feminism, this is absolutely insane and freaking weird. You know what I thought? I thought, damn, that's absolutely disgusting. Who would buy that shit? And look, it fucking sold out. According to the Dr. Squatch official website, they say that it's 100% safe to use the bathwater soap because it only contains a small amount of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. And it apparently went through rigorous safety testings and the highest production standards. I'll be completely honest with you. If these men caught a disease using the bathwater soap, I'm pretty sure they'll be way more happy. Someone on TikTok made a theory that there is going to be someone that when they receive the bathwater soap, they're immediately going to do some testing, and they found out there's 0% human DNA.
I predict that one of the creeps buying Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap actually has access to the tools to test for DNA, and it's going to become an entire thing when they test it for the DNA and they realize that there is no human DNA in that soap whatsoever. I swear to God, it's going to become a huge thing. People are going to call her a scammer. I called it. Just know I called it.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know which one is worse. If there's actually bathwater or if there's no bathwater. Because if there's actually bathwater, I don't care how they tested the fucking soap, how they do their manufacturing. It's still disgusting. It's gross. Apparently, Sydney Sweeney been soaking in one of the ads that she did with Dr. Squatch. This is not the Sydney Sweeney Bathwater Bliss. This is a whole different one. She was the face of the brand the year before, and she did like an ad for them, and then she was in this hub, okay? And then they took some of the samples from that ad, and they put it in this bar of soap. I'll be honest with you, this is a horrible freaking idea, okay? If there's actually bathwater, Sydney Sweeney's bathwater, and I do not believe shit, okay? When they say like, oh, we went through the highest testing, dude. You can't put someone's bathwater inside and claim that it's safe to use. And also, if there's no bathwater and no human DNA inside, that's false advertising. And now someone's gonna sue your bitch ass. All of this for what? For these gooners to finally get a part of Sydney Sweeney's DNA on their body?
Hey, this is Amani from the future, and I think that's a really good question that I asked. What is it for? You sell that for $8, there's 5,000 of them, you don't want to make any more of it, and Sydney's a multi-millionaire. What did she get from it, really? Like,
what have we come to as a society? And a lot of people like to say, okay, you know what, whatever it takes to get men to shower. They're getting dirtier. I don't know.
I mean, honestly though.
Above all of this stunt made by Sydney Sweeney, there's a way bigger issue that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. You guys don't understand. This whole concept feels so weird and degrading to me. And I understand that Sydney Sweeney has a choice and has a say in whatever decision she makes. And I feel like as a grown woman and she made that choice, it's even worse. A lot of people like to say that this situation is setting back feminism. Obviously, no one is saying that Sydney Sweeney is personally responsible for single-handedly setting back feminism. That would obviously be ridiculous. But when people say that she's setting feminism back, they don't literally mean she's to blame for every horrific thing happening to women in 2025. What they do mean is that her actions as a public figure aren't helping the broader fight for women's rights. Not everyone has the privilege to look at what she's doing and laugh it off. There are women being sexualized and objectified in their everyday lives simply for existing. And someone like Sydney Sweeney leans into that male gaze for profit or attention. It reinforces this harmful narrative that in the end women will always give in. That idea that women exist to be lusted over and will eventually play into it. Obviously, it's degrading. And is that directly setting back feminism? Maybe not in a literal sense, but she's clearly not pushing it forward either. She didn't have to do what she did, but she did it anyway. And people have the right to feel frustrated by that, especially when they're coming from a place of genuine concern for women's daily realities. So when others respond by saying oh, you just hate women's choices, or you're just being misogynistic for criticizing her, they're ignoring the bigger picture. Not everyone has the luxury to view this kind of thing as empowering. Some people are simply tired of how normalized it is for women, famous or not, to be reduced to objects, and they're allowed to question whether that kind of image is helping or hurting our cause. I, as someone that respects women's choice to do whatever they want with their bodies, whether to start an OnlyFans and do whatever they want, I can't say that I completely support this decision of hers. They are commodifying the female body while masking it as a satire, goofy gimmick. Okay, you put a sexy woman's body on a product to sell it, and honestly, this one is worse because they're putting Sydney Sweeney's actual bathwater in it in order to sell it. The objectification is right in your face. And a lot of people like to say that, okay, but I find it empowering. It's empowering because she's making money off the people that spent years sexualizing her. She's making bank off them. I think that should count as empowerment. I can't help but not see it as empowerment, but see it more as exploitation. Because Sydney Sweeney is not the only one that struggles with people sexualizing them. A lot of women have the same issue. And for her to do a stunt like this does feel like a mockery for the woman that fought years so you don't have to do shit like that. And it does make me question, isn't she a millionaire? Why does she need to do this? I don't freaking know. And also, it's fucking weird. Profiting off the male gaze still validates this. You guys need to see that. When you profit off the male gaze, you're still feeding it. You're not subverting the system. You're just negotiating better terms with it. To the men that are buying this fuck ass soap, it really doesn't matter that Sydney Sweeney chose to participate, because what they see is confirmation that if they obsess hard enough, if they sexualize loud enough, or they thirst long enough, women will eventually give them what they want, even if it's packaged as irony or as a joke. So instead of challenging the male entitlement, this kind of marketing reinforces it. And that's not feminist rebellion. Back then, if you do shit like this, people will call you out. Okay, I don't know what happened. We need to bring back 2020 wokeness. You don't see the bigger picture and how this could affect women as a whole. You guys might be thinking the same thing. Hey, this sounds very familiar. Human DNA being put in products? Yes, do you guys remember that one person that put their vag yeast and turned it into beer? Yeah, Another conversation that is happening that is pretty similar but not as severe with the Sydney Sweeney bathwater thing is Sabrina Carpenter's album cover. In this album cover, it's for her new album called Men's Best Friend. She is on all fours, wearing a black dress, and a man pulling her by her hair. So, judging by that description, you can understand why people or feminists are not too happy about it. Based on this picture, you should understand how it might be seen as problematic. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not trying to hate on Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm not trying to hate on Sydney Sweeney. I just want you guys to understand, when women are angry and are upset about the situation, don't tell them that they're being too woke. Don't tell them that they're being too sensitive. They have the right to feel upset. The opinions are like split into two. Some people think that society is overreacting about Sabrina Carpenter's album. It's supposed to be satirical, and that, you know, the album cover, her hair was being pulled, and the album name is Men's Best Friend. She's supposed to mimic like a dog. The main track of that album is the song called Man-Child. I'm sure you've heard of it. And it's supposed to be satirical, okay? It's supposed to make fun of men that treat women like dogs. But I'm gonna tell you right now, satirical doesn't work when people have to do immense research to find out that it's satire. Satirical doesn't work when you don't get that it's satirical. Satirical doesn't work when at first glance you can tell that she's making fun of the men that think that way.
If Sabrina Carpenter wanted to make subversive feminist art, she would. Sabrina could have put a man on a leash and dog walked him on the cover. She could be grabbing that man's hair with just like her iconic little pout in the corner of the album cover and have him look up at her begging for her attention. With her Lolita photo shoot, she could have kept everything exactly the same, but had her laying on top of Humbert's grave.
And I agree, you know, she probably doesn't have bad intentions, but people need to understand that women are allowed to feel a certain way because she made the choice to put herself in that situation where her hair is being pulled around by men. However, she made the choice, okay? For a lot of people, that is not a choice. For a lot of people, that is the reality that they have to go through every single day. And like I said many times, it feels like a mockery. I think another conversation about this whole Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap and like Sabrina Carpenter album cover thing that is actually pretty interesting, and I kind of agree, is that, you know, because these are two blonde, blue-eyed white women, a lot of people are defending it. Because if you put it into perspective, if like a person of color were to do the exact same thing as Sabrina Carpenter or Sydney Sweeney, the conversation wouldn't be, oh my god, she's a feminist, she's like making money off this man. No, a lot of names would be thrown. Okay, let's just keep it at that.
The Sabrina cover discourse made me realize how unaware a lot of white women are in the differences that their sensuality has been presented and even allowed to be monetized in ways that are not available to women of color. Because I saw a creator that I used to follow say, oh, if you're mad at Sabrina Carpenter, you would hate me because I collect vintage Playboy magazines. Proceeds to flip through a bunch of white faces on Playboy. Because especially if we're talking vintage, think about your stereotypical vintage Playboy bunny. Looks a little bit like Sabrina, doesn't it? And they don't consider that when you never see a black face in a way that whatever you're talking about, that for some reason is empowering to you and feels like you like it. Do you ever consider we have not been allowed to participate in that language? We've not been allowed to, there's a conversation, I guess, even about monetizing off of your sexuality. And there's a reason that people became Playboy bunnies. And Pamela Anderson career kind of started from that, did it not? So there is like a ladder to be spoken of, whether or not you think it's a dusty, spooky ladder, you still have access to it. And that's a pathway that you might consider when you're flipping through the white faces, that the way we interpret these always often blonde images or white women images of what apparently is empowering. Okay, find me a stack of black women on the front of Playboy in ways that feel empowering, and then maybe we can have a conversation.
So guys, please always remember that I'm not trying to shit on either of these people, except for that one girl that turned her vaggies into beer. I just want you guys to remember, it doesn't matter whether or not you agree with what these people are doing, you agree with these stunts. I just want people to just understand why people are so upset about it, why people feel objectified by these stunts made by these celebrities. I don't like seeing people dismiss other women's feelings when it comes to this situation, saying that it's not a big deal, when in fact, it is. So I guess what I am trying to say is not everyone is privileged enough to see it as satire. Not everyone is privileged enough to see that these people are just taking a crap out of this whole situation. And guys, let's all hold hands. And as women, we're supposed to, comfort each other and understand where each other is coming from. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Amani. If you like my haircut, please like the video, and if you don't, fuck off. Bye guys. My fucking Octo buddy is going down.